You've been wanting the exact same thing for years now. Maybe it's the better job, the body you used to have, or that business you keep planning. Here is the part nobody says out loud. You could want it for another 10 years and still be standing in the exact same spot. Because wanting something costs you nothing. It asks nothing of you. And that is exactly why it feels so good to do. Most people don't fail at their dreams. They never actually start them. They just live in the fantasy of someday until someday quietly eats their whole life. So let's look at what you actually did about it this week. Welcome to The Useful Man, a channel about learning, growing, and staying useful in a world that gets stranger by the day. These are the field notes of life, not fantasy life, not a privileged life, and not influencer life, just real life. In my life, I carry scars, deep scars you cannot see, earned the hard way. That's why I made this channel. Maybe you have no one and nowhere to turn to. Maybe we can find the answers here together. Everybody wants something, a better job, a better body, more money, a stronger marriage, a business, a house, a different life. Wanting isn't rare. Look around. Almost every single person you'll ever meet is carrying a list of things they want in the back of their mind. The guy stuck next to you in traffic wants out of that car. The woman at the register wants a different shift. You want something too, or you wouldn't have clicked on a video asking whether wishes come true. So let's get one thing straight right at the top. Wanting is not the problem. Wanting is human. Wanting is normal. Wanting is the most common thing in the world. The problem is that wanting and working are not the same thing, and almost nobody admits that out loud. Most people spend years talking about things they never spend months working toward. They'll talk about the business for a decade. They'll talk about getting in shape every January. They'll talk about the house, the move, the change, the someday, and the talking feels like it counts for something, but it doesn't. Talking is free. Wanting is free. And anything that's free tends to get treated like it's worth exactly that. A useful man understands that desire is common, commitment is rare. Now here's where it gets sneaky. Here's the trap that gets almost everybody, including me back when I was younger and dumber about all this. One of the strangest things about wishes is that they can feel like progress. Thinking about the business feels productive. Talking about the goal feels productive. Watching videos about the goal feels productive. And yeah, I'm aware of the irony of saying that in a video. Buying the book about the goal feels productive. Making plans about the goal feels productive. You can spend an entire Saturday working on your dream and never do one thing that actually moves it. You researched, you watched, you took notes, you felt great. You went to bed thinking you had a good day, and you did have a good day. You just didn't have a productive one. Sometimes people spend so much time thinking about a future life that they accidentally convince themselves they're building it. The vision board goes up, the plan gets written, the notebook fills with ideas, and the brain, which can't always tell the difference between rehearsing something and doing it, hands out a little reward for the effort. So you feel accomplished. You feel like you're on your way. But motion inside your imagination is not the same thing as motion in reality. You can run a marathon in your head every night and your body never leaves the couch. Planning has value, but eventually the shovel has to hit dirt. Let me be careful here because I don't want you walking away thinking dreaming is bad. It's not. Fantasy is not the enemy. Fantasy can inspire action. Fantasy can help you see possibilities you'd never have considered. Fantasy can give you direction when you're lost. Every real thing that's ever been built started as a picture in somebody's head that didn't exist yet. So no, I'm not here to crush your imagination. I'd be a hypocrite if I did because I've used mine plenty. The problem starts when fantasy becomes a substitute for effort, when the dream itself becomes more enjoyable than building it, when the version of your life that lives in your head is so comfortable, so polished, so perfect that the messy, boring, real world work of building it can't compete. That's when people start collecting inspiration instead of collecting results. Another motivational clip, another podcast, another quote saved to the phone. They've got a folder full of fire and not one callus on their hands. Some people have enough motivational quotes saved on their phone to invade a small country, yet still haven't started the invasion or the motivation. That's when the fantasy stops being fuel and starts becoming anesthesia. It stops waking you up and starts putting you to sleep. It numbs the part of you that should be uncomfortable about not having started yet. A useful man uses fantasy to start the engine. He doesn't live in the garage revving it forever. So how do you know which one you're doing? How do you tell an honest goal from a comfortable wish wearing a goal's clothes? Here's the easiest test in the world, and I want you to actually run it on yourself while you're sitting there. What have you done in the last 7 days? Not what are you thinking about? Not what are you planning? Not what you're going to do as soon as things settle down. What have you actually done in the last week toward the thing you say you want? Because goals leave evidence. Effort leaves evidence. Action leaves evidence. It shows up somewhere you can point to. There's a charge on the bank statement. There's an hour blocked off on the calendar. There's a page in the notebook. There's sweat in the gym bag, sawdust in the garage, a phone call you made that you didn't want to make. If nothing in your calendar, your bank account, your schedule, your notebook, your garage, your gym bag, or your daily routine reflects the goal, then I've got bad news, and I'm going to say it as a friend. The goal may still be a wish. It hasn't crossed over yet. It's still living in the air where it cost you nothing. And here's the part that'll save you a lot of self-deception. How badly you want it doesn't count as evidence. Wanting it more doesn't move it. I've met people who wanted something with their whole heart and did nothing about it for 20 years. The wanting was real. It just wasn't worth anything on its own. A useful man measures commitment by action, not emotion. So we finally get to the question on the table. Do wishes come true? Sometimes they do. I'm not going to lie to you and say they never do, but usually not by magic, usually not by luck, usually not because the universe heard you and decided you'd suffered long enough. Here's what I've watched happen in my own life and in the lives of people I've walked through this. Most wishes that come true eventually stop being wishes. There's a moment sometimes you can point right to it where the thing quits floating around in your head and gets put down on paper, where it stops being someday and becomes a plan. Then the plan becomes a habit. Then the habit becomes effort, day after boring day. Then the effort gets multiplied by time, and later than you wanted, and in a way you didn't expect, it becomes a result. I'll give you one quick example. Years back, I wrote down that I wanted to take a cruise. Simple thing. Didn't happen year one. Money was tight. Life got in the way. Didn't happen year two either. But I didn't delete it. I kept it on the list, kept it where I'd see it every morning. Year 3, I went on 2 cruises, and I'd been dead wrong about the whole thing. I have had some of the best times of my life on a cruise. It didn't come true because I wished hard. It came true because I refused to erase it and let time do its work. The wish is the spark. The work is the engine. A spark with no engine is just a nice feeling that fades by February. An engine with no spark never turns over in the first place. You need both, but only one of them shows up in your life when you're not looking. And it isn't the spark. And here's the good news. If you're sitting there realizing some of your goals might still be wishes, don't beat yourself up about it. Most people never figure that out at all. The next step is simple. Write it down. In the next video, we're going to take that old school pen and paper approach and actually put some structure behind it. Because once a goal gets out of your head and onto paper, now we can work with it. Now we can measure it. Now we can start moving it forward. So dream big. I mean that. A useful man is allowed to dream as big as he wants. He just understands that reality only rewards the part that shows up and does the work. Thanks for spending some useful time with me. Before you head out, hit the like button, turn off the lights, and lock the door. I'll catch you on the next one.